So with this internet shit. Scrapple TV.
Movie novelizations are a thing. You may not know about them, but they're really fun, they're really interesting, and they give you another look at the movies you love. They're another take of things that you're already familiar with. So that's kind of what I hope to do tonight. Movie novelization started in the early 1920s as an inexpensive way for people to kind of relive, whatever films that they've seen. These books often include deleted scenes and other kind of material that never makes the finished product. So that makes these books a really weird reading experience. How many people are Gremlins fans in the audience? Alright. Gremlins is a great film. I can say without any exaggeration whatsoever that I've seen the film Gremlins 18 billion times. Not one of the times that I saw Gremlins did I ever wonder if Gizmo came from outer space. But in the Gremlins novelization, written by a gentleman named George Guype, he suggests that the Gremlins are a product of genetic engineering that exist from outer space. The galactic powers ordered the Mogwai sent to every inhabitable planet in the universe. Among the planets selected for early Mogwai population were Kelm 6 in the Port Sci range, Klimph A of the Beehive Pollux, and the third satellite of Minor Sun 67672, a small but fertile body called Earth by its inhabitants. George Guype, a guy who clearly has no idea what's going on in Joe Dante's little family film Gremlins. The novel gets really bleak, and it's more. It comes across more as a horror film. In a sad little bit of note here, I must add that shortly after George Guype novelized Joe Dante's film Explorers, he died because he was stung by bees. Yeah, I'm fucking bummed out about that too. So these frustrated authors, they do what they can to make their books interesting. One of the things they do is they just add sex for no reason whatsoever. Flash Gordon is an amazing film. Flash Gordon has a lot of things going on in it, and it's all ridiculous, but one thing it doesn't need is any extra sex. But one Arthur Byron cover, he doesn't give a shit about that. He decides that what he's going to do in his opening chapter is make Flash Gordon a huge prude and make Dale Arden a bit of a... Sexuality in Flash Gordon is one thing. Sexuality in Howard the Duck? We don't need it. But there's a scene in the movie that's very disturbing to me, and it's a scene where Howard takes a job working at a bandits. Now, in the film it makes no sense. On the printed page it makes even less sense. The Love Suites were in fact a series of hot tub cubicles. Howard reached for the first one and knocked on the flimsy plywood door. Came from within. Howard shrugged and opened the door. Inside were a man and a woman up to their necks in hot water and doing their best to eat each other's mouths. Howard realized with a shock that this was some sort of sexual activity. He tossed the towel onto the wooden sitting ledge, muttered sorry, and closed the door. Such was his routine for about an hour. Sometimes the couples were not much eating each other's mouths as doing, well, something else. The writer doesn't get too risque. And you have to remember, this is the time before DVD and Laserdisc and extra features, and the internet, obviously. So, to learn about all this stuff, it wasn't really commonplace. So it intrigued me that these books offered an alternate reality version of the movies that I was so familiar with. Who remembers Back to the Future? Come on, guys. Exactly. So how does George Guype decide to open the Back to the Future novelization? Nuclear chaos. introduction to the Back to the Future novel, Marty McFly is a bored teenager who's watching a movie about nuclear Armageddon in his classroom. That's how they establish it in the novel. But George Guype goes on to mention that Marty McFly is a student who is not paying attention to the film because he is listening to, and I quote, rock stereo music. If you guys want to avoid perishing in a nuclear holocaust, you gotta stay away from the rock stereo music.
On Amazon, you can find pretty much every novelization, with the exception of a select few that seem to be very valuable. You can find them for a penny each, and like that's great. It's a great collectible. It's a fun collectible.
Thank you all for talking, listening to me, and I'm going to hand this back over to our lovely hosts. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, give it up for Chris Cummins, my man! Oh, baby, another Nerd Night. Actually, our first Nerd Night of 2013. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys are beautiful.